guys feeling tonight?
Yeah, press the button.
Gotta turn it on.
I'm really challenged. Well, the food was good. My belly is full.
There you go.
And we're in great company. So,
Yes.
Akila, I have to give you the shout out for everything that you do.
Yes.
So,
One more time for
Akila.
Akila.
Well, Tiffany, well, I'm going to say it because I know Tiffany since she was a little child. We went to the same. I know. I am older than her.
Can't tell. You guys both look 25, can't tell.
We were in the same camp.
She was my camp counselor.
Yes.
What?
Yes. And I mean, look at Bushes. So,
St. Barnabas Church camp. I don't know about St. Barnabas Church camp.
There was a lot of talent that came out of that
church. I'm telling you,
100%.
There you go.
So it's like family.
I love that.
And I campaigned. She was my first opportunity to go door knocking for something.
Oh, I love
the
that.
first time I went out and had the little flyers and, do you know about your launching?
Okay, I love that.
Just pretend you're me. Honesty.
I love that. So it's like a little family reunion we have going on tonight, right?
Absolutely.
We love that. I'm going to ask both of you beautiful ladies some questions tonight. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? My questions are not hard though. It's good. I'm Trish. Come on. Alrighty. So we talk about connection. Connection is the heart of growth. How have meaningful relationships, whether personal or professional or community-based, helped you both succeed in your journeys?
I'm gonna go first.
I mean, no choice. You're saying.
No, and I think it's the whole idea around how community helps. I think community has been the foundation of how I've been able to build anything related to what has become my life mission. So we laugh about the church camp, right? But I think I moved to the West Island when I was 10. Didn't know anybody. My parents picked a church. That became the first community where we had, older young women and young men that we could look up to, model. And that was my first exposure to community-based work, right? Being a camper. Then the next step was joining a Black local camp and becoming a CIT and a camp counselor and all these things. Going to John Abbott, being part of that community. That's where I met Akila. So it's like all of these things, I think that community has framed how I look at the world in the essence of all things happen within community. What role do you play within it, and what do you rely on and draw from it to be able to give back to it? So for me, community is a throughput, all the way from the elementary school up until now, in terms of building an organization that does that work.
That is so true. For me, I would say just go back to connection as we evolve and you just learn. Anyways, I'll say I continue to learn that at the end of the day, really what matters, when you think of your life as a movie, and at the end of the movie is the connections that you've made. Did I matter? Did I make a difference in the world? And so it doesn't matter all the jobs, all the titles, all the different things really are not the things that matters the most. It's like, what difference was I able to make in somebody else's life, or the impact that they had on mine? And that's what, to your point, Tiffany, on community, but living a life of service is the biggest paycheck, really. And that's all it is. I think we're built as human beings, the core of who we are is to be that. So it feels right because that's, I think, our intrinsic identity. And I'm lucky enough that it was what was the example. We bring it back to the church. That was what it was. Right. Our parents, West Indians in Montreal, it was just what you did to connect to the community here and to give to the community. So, of course, it was a natural thing for us to do in, whether it's in active politics, whether it's in community organizations, just the knowledge of knowing that that's what you do, and it feels right, especially now more than ever in an environment where there's just so much noise. Yeah. It just makes you anchored back to what matters most, which is each other, really.
I love that. Well, thank you for those answers, ladies and gentlemen. So as we celebrate Black excellence beyond February, because this is what this is all about, what does it mean to you to build and sustain growth all year round, both individually and within the Black community?
Well, I'm Black all the time.
Okay, love that. Okay.
Me too.
Yeah, so I like to remind everybody, like, in case you missed the memo, it's really, because sometimes people forget, like, we get the calls, you know, Tiffany, we get the calls, probably right after Christmas,
January.
ready for that panel, you want to do that, and that's okay, I understand, that we want to put the emphasis, and at any time, I should say, that anybody wants to recognize and take the time to recognize the immense amount of talent that we have in the community, I will take it, and I think we should highlight it at every time. But I think fundamentally it has to always be about authenticity and consistency. So when I say Black all the time, let's talk about how great the Black community is doing all the time, and every opportunity that we have to bring that to the forefront. And it doesn't always have to be in a grandiose way or in a panel. It's like, how are we doing that at the job? How are we showing up for each other in the store? How are we doing so by showing up for the activities, our kids in camp? They're just really having that top of mind all the time.
I think for me, I got to make my 9 to 5 Blackness.
Okay.
Okay, elaborate on that a little bit.
Well, my whole adult life, like it's now we're going on year 23 of working exclusively for the Black community. It's been, I started when I was 6, you know.
Yes, I understand. I know your 30th birthday invitation to
Black don't crack.
That's right.
But it's so when you make that your job, your mission, it's a different thing. So when people say beyond February, I'm like, yeah, and not just because I'm Black 24/7,
right?
But I also work on what is the environment, what is the access point, how do I help to shape a future that Black people are reaching their full potential? Because that's where we have societal shift that needs to occur. When you get to play in that field, you also understand, and to your point, the connectivity. Because the reality of it is, if you solve for one marginalized community, you are ultimately pushing a barrier for another. So I don't look at my Black work in isolation. If I solve for our community's barriers and societal challenges, there is another community that will benefit. Because we're not the only ones. We have a unique story. There is a unique tactic or strategy that is applied to us, but nonetheless, when we solve for it, we create the greater good. So it's not in isolation. I think that's why we have to discuss it all the time. Until we're all free, none of us are free. It's as simple as that. So I get to work on it from the lens of my community, which I have a vested personal interest, but it is ultimately for the collective good.
All right, give it up for that too. That's amazing. Next question is, trailblazing comes with both triumphs and tribulations. Can you share a moment when a challenge or setback became a valuable lesson or turning point in both of your careers?
There's so many to choose from.
Choose one that stands out.
I think I'll choose a more obvious one that people think too, and this was a long time ago, but I think what happens when you're Black, and some certain circles, and a woman, you are perceived and judged in a certain way. And when I first started out in politics, I think about the moment that I was sworn in, first as an M&A, as a member of National Assembly. Like every Black person in Quebec was there, and in that moment, I think I should have felt the love and support, but I felt an immense amount of pressure because I wanted to make all of these people that have worked so hard for not just me as a person, but for what it represented in that moment. So there was that, but on the flip side of that, just think if you moments later, I'm sworn in as minister, and all of a sudden it's a bit different because, wait a second, hold on. She was black. We were. So all the reasons why she's a woman, she shouldn't be there. And you see, even those, and I think that's also that were supportive, all of a sudden question your ability. And even though you have the experience and all of that things. And so it was extremely challenging time because I was kind of stuck in wanting to first live up to the expectation and also overcome what negative perceptions that others had. And it was a real important moment after the first 6 months where if you look at any picture of me during that time, I'm just like, wow, deer in headlights, like, get me out of here. This is not fun. But then there comes a point where, and this is where community and family are supportive, where they just kind of remember who you are and why you're there. And then I just said, I won't swear, but kind of like, this is being recorded. It is right there. I would say, bleep it. This is me. I'm here. I don't know how long this is going to last. While I'm here, we're going to get some bleep done. Is that? And then exactly. Yeah. And that flipped the script and then was able to step into myself and understand that I'm not defined by what other people think of me. And it's what the mission is. And let's focus on that. Seems easier to say at my grown age now, but when you're like not yet 30 years old, taking on those taking on those responsibilities, it was a hard lesson to learn young. Yeah, but it served me, and I hope the people around me really well. Fifth,
That's a school of hard knocks.
absolutely.
And just I'll get to my moment, but what I think is important to recognize is when she decided that she was going to get things done.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because you have the expectation you're trying to meet, understanding that you now have the power. When you become a minister, you now have the power to allocate decisions, influence policy, right? And you have the ability to say, I know of my experience in my community, and I want to make sure that they are represented and that there is something that is addressing a real existing challenge.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But then also walking the side of them, the others, not perceiving that now you are playing favorites or that you are prioritizing one over the other. But you know there's a gap here. Yeah. And what Yolande did before 30 years old was say, bleep it. We are going to do a study on the Black community. We are going to identify what are the actual gaps and what needs to be put in place and what investments need to go in the Black community. Like, if you think about what that is to stand in that in Quebec City and say, I'm doing it. Yeah. Right? Now, you would put the throughput. This is where you fast forward to my hard moment. So the decision she made when I was at the BCA, I ran the entrepreneurship program that she made available to Quebec.
Okay.
The government changes, we lose that funding. So we go from a Black fund, Black resources, to what we call a diversity pool of fund and resource. Yes. Which is...
I was against that.
But okay, was not tailored to us.
Yeah.
So we lose her work. But we have to regain it.
Yeah.
So I'm in my space now going, how do we regain it? And this is where the opportunity to create a national Black entrepreneurship program comes, because we saw the impacts that were beginning off of Yolande's work. It was intercepted.
Yeah.
And we need to bring this everywhere.
Right.
Right? So now you start to play in that pool.
Yeah,
you start to,
for sure.
and you start to do all of the things with God's grace and God's help. And they go, okay. And they make it happen. But now you are the first person to sit in that role now with an entire community that's like, we need that.
Yeah.
How are you going to do it? And you find out very quickly that it is very daunting, scary, and heavy.
Of course.
Because you're like, if I make a mistake,
Yeah.
this can go away. We experienced it. Yeah. Nothing even went wrong with her and it went away. So if we fumble the ball, what happens?
Yeah.
that is an immense no sleep, lose your edges, heartburn, Gaviscon moment, because you now understand the weight of what you were working towards, but now it's how do we make sure that we maintain? And there's the noise coming from outside of the house. There's the noise inside of the house, and you have to focus, and there's cameras in your face, and there's all kinds going on, and you have to be super steady when you're just trying to give ourselves the opportunity to grow.
And you did that.
Barely, girl.
That. And you were lying to that.
And you did that. The point is that it's hard, but you have to understand that that's what it is. And it's when preparation meets opportunity. She was prepared when it came. It was difficult. There was friction, but you get through. Right. I'm here. I'm doing the best that I can. The renewal of the program means we went from one level to the next level.
Right.
We just keep preparing to keep going. But that is the name of the game.
That's it. Is there one thing in particular that kept you guys both going? Like, what was it exactly that just said, no, we got to get this done? What was it inside of you guys that kept you going each time? I know you had the obstacles, but what was it that said, no, I'm going to fight this? Like, what was that one thing for you both?
So once you realize that you're in something that's bigger than yourself, her sense of purpose becomes extremely clear.
Yes. Okay.
And so you and this is not to minimize the crying in the bathroom moments, which I've had.
Of course. But you're human too, so that's okay.
Acknowledge those.
Yes.
And I think it's important to do that because sometimes we like to not acknowledge that just didn't happen. But just having the knowledge and knowing of how many people worked to bring the baton to here, right? And being conscious of in whatever position you're in that will last, you don't know how long it's going to last. This is the opportunity. I've got to be able to try the best that I can to bring it to bring it further so that then it can go further and can go further. So that to me is the sense of purpose and surface towards that is a big motivator that can really outshine all of the haters.
Yeah.
Because in the end, that's what really matters. Like I will always go back to that because it is clear as day that that's going to be the thing that you look back to and that you think about, that you realize, okay, look at Tiffany, look at what Tiffany's done, look at what Tiffany's doing for the community. And you just want that to see that continue. We look at our kids. We were talking about our kids and saying that y'all better do that. Like, I'm already doing that. So yes, better. And you think that's really what it's all about, as far as I'm concerned.
I think you have to know your history to know you won't put your arms down.
Yeah.
And then, so you can't know Gloria Bayless's story and then put your arms down. Because what they faced was so much more egregious, blatant, outlandish, so they fought all that way to change policy, create systems, create opportunities for us to be part of unions. Like if you know your history, then you can zoom out and go, this is tough, but it ain't what came before, right? So
Exactly.
So it's hard, but it's not contextually what could be the hardest situation. So someone fought for it to be this hard, right? It was harder. It was terrible. So you now have to work through that. And the idea is that if you stick to it, don't put your arms down, keep moving towards what you're trying to achieve, then the next lap, the next wave of people, it'll be hard, but not as hard as it was for me.
Right.
So I think that that's what governs it because you have to have context.
Of course.
If you don't have context, you might say, you know what? I'm tapping out. I'm stressing out. But if you have the context and you know your history and you know what happened in your immediate environment, not far away, right here in your own city, right here in your own province, right here in your own country, you don't just put your arms down.
That's right. I love that. I love that you also said that, it didn't come without crying, because I like that you acknowledge that. Some people try to make things look so easy, life is not easy. I love that you acknowledge that there's actually emotion and hardships, both of you, in different ways about that, because it makes us feel comfortable to know that, okay, we can do whatever with a little tear, here and there, but it's good. I like that. I love that. We're going to go into networking. So networking isn't just about exchanging business cards. What are some authentic ways to build connection that truly support growth and collaboration?
Oh gosh.
You near?
Yeah. Yes, go, because I think I know what your confession is. So do I. I don't actually do work.
I don't. I'm very
Okay, but
I don't.
that's a great perspective. Why do you hate it? Hate is a heavy word too.
But I don't know if that's, don't see that as advice.
That's why I said hate is a heavy word, but okay, Tiff, go ahead.
And we have to start to be authentic about the ways, right? So
Right.
networking for some, like you, sometimes you see people come in a room and they're just so good.
They can work it.
And
Yes.
it's like a dance. Like they're so good at it. No, like
I love the honesty.
what I've decided is that if I've come to a space, I've already decided what the objective is for me in that space.
Okay.
So if I've come in, I've figured out who's in the room that I need to see, and I'm like, I'm getting there, and then I'm getting out. And the reason why is not because I'm antisocial. I'm quite social.
Yes.
I'm social. I'm very social, but I just understand that that's not my forte.
Okay.
And once I make that connection with the person, the one-on-one follow-up game, I'm good. I'm tight.
Okay.
I will come. We will sit down. I won't waste your time. I'm going to give you a plan. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm very succinct. But the throw me in a room with, like, I went to a collision. I needed a week off after collision. It's too many bodies, too many people, too many, but that's not me.
Okay.
So what I would say is that creating a network of authentic relationships is important.
Yes.
Do you need to network to do it?
Right.
No, you need a strategy of how you're going to build that network and find the mutually beneficial transaction.
Yeah.
Because we want relationship building, but there's always a transaction. And the way you do it is, how is it good for you and good for me? Right. If you go and you want to be extractive, I think people can feel that.
No, I think maybe it's because, and I won't be as deep. That was really deep. Because I feel like for me, maybe it's because I was networked too.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
True. So I always think of the big event, the big cocktail where you're approaching people or they're eating the sandwich and they're spitting the sandwich pieces in my, like, and I'm just like, ooh, this is not what I want, what I like. So what I like, and how is this fun? And there are people who, obviously not Tiffany and myself, who are professionals at the networking. Like they're coming in and you actually see them. They're like, I'm out to this and I'm doing this. And I'm like, good for you if that's what works. But for me, I really do, when I go into a room, want to connect. And the transactional piece, I know that it's not going to take place in that moment. So I don't know, maybe some people are able to go in there and say, I got a pitch for you and I do it in 30.
Yeah.
That has never worked for me.
Okay.
Or either way, in terms of somebody trying to sell me something or on the other way.
Yeah.
And so I found just making the connection or the thing to make the person remember your face.
Yeah.
And 6 degrees of separation is a real thing. And I would say in Quebec, it's like,
Especially in Montreal. Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
so if you just have that first piece, the networking thing is, as you've mentioned about mutually transactional, I've always am like a mediator at heart. I'm professionally did that, but I also understand what's your need. I understand the other person's need.
That's right.
So the beginning is always of connection is understanding, yes, there's something that I think is the right thing, but I understand the other person's need. And part of the networking is to understand how am I, with whatever it is I'm proposing, responding to a need that they had. And then the other big change that I would say is, no matter how good you are, you could be the perfect person. If that's not visible, you're not going to get, you need sponsors in this world. You need sponsors that are in the rooms that you're not in, that will speak on your behalf. That we could say that it's not fair. We should be in equity and equality, but the world is not, that's not the reality yet. And so working towards those things, to go back to your question, I mean, cocktails are nice, but it's not really, or when I say cocktails, but it's always those things, the Chamber of Commerce, you name it, all the events, all the people, you've got to do it. But I'm like Tiffany the whole time. I'm like, wash your hands and
Pick it. Me and my assistant sit down. I'm like, how many did I do this year? Yeah, 3 more. Put the quarters because I have to ramp up to do it.
because we're in that, and we're getting in that, like, we're in that season right now too. Like, so it's there. It's like, hey, hi.
Yeah.
Happy holidays.
Don't you guys love the authenticity? I do.
Oh no, I know.
I love it. I love that. You know what? You guys were real about it. You said get straight to the point and get out. It really is what it is.
So bad.
It's not bad. It's what works for you both. And that is good. That is good. Many people look up to leaders like you both. How do you both stay motivated on a daily basis? How do you stay motivated to do what you're doing?
I mean, how do you stay motivated?
Those 3 humans that I produced. So before I had children, and you figure out that you want to have a life of service, and like you work, and when you do those jobs, like I worked at day camps, then I led day camps. I have about 3,000 community kids, right? Wow. And those kids are having kids now, which is creepy, but it's true. And so you understand that you're doing this because there's
Yeah.
but it's still removed from you in the essence of like you're doing something good and hopefully it'll help. Then you have your own kids and you go, okay, so everything that I do, not only am I teaching, they're watching, I'm influencing how they see the world. I'm learning from them. They're my teachers. Like it's this thing where they became the source of my motivation, right? Because I want to, like, at the end of the day, where they look at what mommy did, not just the networking event she dodged, not just all those things, right? Running through the non-baked cupcakes that mommy brings to the school things. It happens.
Shout out.
That's
DoorDash.
hey, listen, this is it, right? Will they understand and will they say, well, mom did good things.
Yeah.
And she built in me some things that I can do good too. I think that they're my greatest motivation.
Amazing.
100%.
I echo that, especially so. I have a son who is a product of Overture for the Arts. I have to say, but also a counselor in training.
Awesome.
Very proud of that. Was there from the beginning, and the thing about your kids is that they do. Well, mine especially watch everything that you do, not just the big things. It's a little thing.
Yeah.
And it's not just the outcome that you want. It's how you've done that. And it is a motivation, but also a reminder of the importance of character. And it's not just about showing them how to get the thing or the job. It's who do you want to be and how do you want to show up for the people that you love or show up, period. So that's a huge motivator. And I think that's probably not the socially acceptable answer, which I'm doing a lot of lately, not giving this the right answer.
I love it.
And there's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong.
Clearly, I'm not returning in politics anytime soon. It's really, I am almost motivated by all of the negative or the almost of, I want to be the anti to that. In the beginning, it can be depressing because you're like, what?
What human sludge?
I'm confused as to what's happening in the world. But it's actually then, I don't know if that's true for other people. That's why I said it's socially unacceptable. It's actually becomes fueling to be able to say, oh no, let's remember what's right, what we can do. And there is things that we can do as individuals to make things better and to be a representation of what it is that we want the world to be, and how are we showing up to show that to not just the generations to come, but to my neighbor,
right,
to my sister, to...
It's become rebellious to be kind. Yes.
Honest.
And empathetic. So rebel on, man.
Yes, I'm all about it.
I like
that. Exactly.
Rebel on.
It used to be the standard. Now it seems to be on the other side, and that's okay because everything in life is a pendulum, right? It's going to swing, and we're seeing a very strange pendulum swing. But again, if you zoom out we've been here before.
Absolutely.
Societies and all these things. So hold steady and like hold on to the values, and we can be rebels. Like Bob Marley said, be a rebel man.
No, you're a rebel. I like that. I'm a rebel. So you guys are busy empowering, doing a lot of work in the community inside and out. I have a follow-up question to what I just asked. What does a day off look like for Yolande and Tiffany?
I should get more speeding tickets. And I hate to say that, but it's true. You dropping off. I need to get to train. I got to get to school. You got to get to this meeting. Thank God for Teams. Because I've been working Waist Up Ready for a long time now, and people don't know it. Okay. And I've coined it. When you found an organization in the pandemic, I was Waist Up Ready.
Wow.
I negotiated a lot of things with this blazer on, but the bottoms were not okay. So the day in the life of Tiffany now is more about trying to build in pauses.
Yeah.
So what I realized in 2018 when I had a burnout, and my mind said get up, and my body was like it wiped out, and I had to be out for 4.5 months.
Wow.
That was a life lesson to say, build in the pause. Okay. Now life changes all the time. Kids need to get here. I need to get there, and all of that. So now I'm learning how to pause. So I get up every morning at 4:45, and a lot of people are like, why? The why is because that's when my house is absolutely quiet,
Right.
still.
Right.
So I can talk to myself, talk to my creator, read. It's just quiet, and then I go into my day as opposed to like, and like take off.
Yeah,
right.
I got.
And I think that's been important. It's a balance of checking in with my team. My team was built virtually, right? Like I have 40 employees across the country, and we didn't meet each other till a year in because of COVID.
Right.
So yeah, right. So we've developed in our culture, like connecting on Teams. You get on there, you do all these things, and so there's that. And I think that being as present as I can be, and I have a tendency to go in my head and like crank a whole bunch of stuff. It's like, no, I'm doing this meeting. Let's talk about this, figure it out, closed, and to the next. So I'm just trying to be intentional about setting a good pace and then shutting it off.
Right.
Which I think is becoming new to a lot of people, because community work necessitates a lot of, I'm here, I'm there, weekend events, and I just been learning. And I think 40 brought it.
40. Yes.
I'm close to the 50, but okay.
It's a whole sentence. No, I can't come. I can come. I want to come. I love you guys from a distance. I wish you guys the best, but I can't come because I need to rest.
Period.
And I need to be with my kids, and I need to be in my home. So that's what the day looks like. Gradually going in, being present for the moments, and then shutting it off.
What Tiffany said is just, it's so profound and important, even talking about the burnout and talking about how you manage that, is because let's truth talk, we don't talk about it. We don't talk about it, and almost as Black women want to model this resilience that is hurt us.
Yeah.
And again, I'm a little bit older, so I'm in the generation where that's been celebrated a lot. And I've watched a lot of my aunties and a lot of women really run themselves into the ground for others.
Yeah.
And that we are at least saying now that that's not acceptable and not apologizing for that, I think that that's a huge gain. I will say personally, I'm still struggling with the programming of it, because like I call it the programming of the default reaction of not feeling guilt still. Today I work at an investment firm, pension fund. And so I get up at 5, and I'm of the generation too. So there's a family, older parent, community trying to be. That's the thing of just saying, like crying in the bathroom, that you can't and should not be everything to everyone, and that you are choosing by definition, I always remind that we choose things by definition, we're giving something up. And that's a normal thing. It's a definition of a choice. And you have to choose yourself. You have to choose yourself first. We always say it, but we have to action that. Yeah. And so for me, I have people now in my life that keep me accountable to that. To be like, hello, you are no longer 21. So you are looking a little jacked up there. It's
Take your magnesium.
it is time. True. My best friend too. I take magnesium too.
Very important.
Yes, take my magnesium. I won't go into that. I do. And I even rub it on the bottom of my shoes.
Now it's like, did you take your magnesium?
And I rub it on the bottom of my feet. Like, yeah, we're getting into details, but it really it is really important. And I'm glad that you asked that question, because I think it is important to model that too. In the same way we do the hard work and giving of community, of taking care of yourself is a big part of that. So holding up, that's how the day off is holding yourself accountable, having those moments. I'm up at 5, but having those moments where I just need to take a breath here. Of course. And remembering that if you run yourself to the ground, what will that serve? Right? Nothing good to no one. And the work or whatever will still be there. And if you want to be able to do it, we need to do it as a team.
The work will be there, and more importantly, everything continues.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, so true.
And you have to be okay with that. So
Yeah.
at my burnout, I was like, oh wait, the place didn't drop down. So that also me.
Yeah.
This idea of being Atlas and holding the world on your shoulders, no brush, right? No. People will pick up, step in, it'll go. And you got to be okay with letting that go. It's detachment.
So that's basically letting go of control at that point too, was that an easy thing for you to do during the burnout, or do you feel like you had no?
I'm a Virgo. This was
Oh, okay. Well, the Virgo's in the house. Hello. It was difficult for you to do.
reality, but that's why, listen, was it Oprah who said, he'll throw a pebble, he'll throw a stone, he'll throw a rock, and he'll drop a brick wall on your head?
Yeah.
Brick wall.
Understood.
And you understand the lesson. And I think that was it. And I'm happy for it. I wish I could have learned from others, but to Yolande's point, who was talking about it?
No one was.
It was a badge of honor to go, grind culture as well as hustle culture. So hustle culture so who says no? Yes. Saying no, document no, lazy. It's rest, it's the restitution. It's absolutely, it's rebuilding, it's restoring. And if you don't do that, the real question you have to ask: how much do you love yourself?
Exactly. Yeah.
You might love your work, you might love the mission, you might love a lot of things, but how much do you love you? And I think that's what we struggle with.
I love that. You can't pour from an empty cup. You guys are right. So legacy and impact matter. How do you hope your work or leadership will inspire future generations of Black professionals and entrepreneurs?
No one told me the nonprofit sector was a thing.
Okay.
I don't know. Akila, I think we've had that conversation. I was studying communications. I wanted to be in radio, right? That's what I wanted to do. And then I think I was turned towards this idea of this is a sector. And then it just aligned with what I think was what was in there all along, either way. But so what I hope I'm demonstrating for future nonprofit professionals, because we are social entrepreneurs, I'm a social entrepreneur, is that this is a viable, possible, scalable option, right? And we are coming to a place where the model of nonprofit has evolved and changed. It is not anymore depending on government grants and subsidies. It's building a business that is able to do good, but also have sustainability. It's evolved. So I hope what I'm demonstrating is what I learned from my community predecessors, what they built, these institutions, these organizations that are 30, 40, 50 years old. Now I built one. How am I blueprinting this new model of a social enterprise? And that's, for me, that's the thing I'd like to demonstrate for young professionals.
Love that.
And I think the other thing that I would like to see is more women in leadership.
Ooh, that's good.
Now, my experience was it was all women in leadership, camp counselors,
Yeah.
at Black Family Association, at WIPCA. It was all women. Her mom was my first boss in
Hey,
the sector.
awesome.
So I saw women lead, and I think that's why I go into the spaces like,
Yeah.
and what? That's what I know. That's what I saw, and I know it's possible. But I think that there's still to this moment, spaces where women feel as though if you are a smaller number or the only, you shouldn't be there. And I think we just need to have more women step into those spaces. And what we see is that women perform at a level that is incredible. But I think I'm still shocked when I go into rooms and I'm like, there aren't women present there when I know there are brilliant women who can not only perform in those spaces, but dominate spaces. So that's what I think is the thing that I would like to, the myth I'd like to dispel.
I love that.
With my work.
Yolande?
I almost don't want to answer the question just because I feel like I'm not yet at the point of talking about the legacy and impact. I want to feel like I have a lot more runway ahead to really start to dig into the difference that I want to make. I want to really sincerely believe that. That being said, if I just look at where I'm at so far, my career path has certainly not been linear, and that's been by design. From politics to TV, I work in investments now, but the one thing has been just driven by a sense of purpose and of service towards something bigger than myself, and stepping into it. Even though, for the right reasons, even though I'm scared as hell. And I'm hoping that if any impact at all, that by seeing me in any of those spaces, that others will have, not that they can do it. Yes, I think that that's important too. Representation matters, and we speak about that and do that. But also that they do it knowing that perfect is the enemy. It's not perfect. Right? Perfect is the enemy of good. You got to step into it. That's why I speak it a lot now. Like, let me tell you, you see the glossy picture? Let me tell you what it was like in real time.
Yeah.
So that hopefully encourage people to say, okay, so that presentation didn't go the way I thought, or that interview didn't happen the way that I got. It doesn't matter. You still step into the space because you're driven by the difference that you want to make. And so that I'm hoping that regardless of whatever the sector it is that you choose, that you're out of that comfort zone and know that you will be also supported by people that want to see you succeed. I wish I had you teach them what you need to learn, as the saying goes. I wish I knew, even though I knew, but I wish I knew earlier on how much and how many people supported me, even though I knew it. Like, don't look at me, Akila, like, what were you stupid? You didn't know. But like, but it's one thing to intellectually know, oh yeah, thanks. But now you feel it, as opposed to putting the emotional weight on those that don't.
Okay, I feel you. I get that. Tiffany, you said that in rooms there are still not a lot of women. Why do you think that is? What do you think the reason for that is?
Okay, let me give you what I believe, and this is my opinion, and in no way, shape, or form has overthrown the arts and disclaimer that I'm self-critical today. Okay, that's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. One day, it's fine. I own it. So the reason why I believe that to be the case is that I think that as we go through this transition of women not just stepping into space but holding space, there's something we have to undo. And what I've noticed, I observe both genders in space. I'm in finance. Yes. So what I see is men who, I'll use it from this part, from an HR perspective. Okay. People who apply for jobs at the organization. When I look at what we're looking for in terms of a description of skills, a CV from a man will have maybe, let's say, 3 out of the 10 things we need. And they're applying, eh? They're close, confident. And in the interview, their whole chest, like, yes.
Exactly, confidence.
Right here, they've got it. I'll get a CV from a woman. She's got 9.5 of the 10 things I want. She's like, am I okay? And she's apologizing in the interview. And I know, but I want to do, and I'm getting Rosetta Stone, and I'm like, ma'am, You're dope.
Right?
You're dope.
Right.
So I just think it's a mindset thing. So I think sometimes women are psyching themselves out.
Okay.
Because here's the joke. I'm in finance and I'm not a banker. At all. At all.
Okay.
Because my expertise is I can pull together the talent to move a strategy forward. Somebody gave me the best compliment, and it's funny because if anybody knows me, I don't watch sports. You're like the Phil Jackson of nonprofit work. And I was like, exactly. The basketball coach. So
I didn't know.
Jordan, Kobe, they had the coach who got them to the championship.
Right.
But what he did is he built the team.
Okay.
Actually, he played basketball, but
Right.
you understand?
I understand what you mean. Yes.
The question became, should I lead? If I got in my own head and said, should I lead face? I'm not a banker. I never worked in commercial. Okay, I never in a credit. I could have psyched myself out. But what I have done is 20 years of working with my community, understanding their needs, understanding where the gaps are, being able to negotiate with governments, writing multi-year programs. I've got what it takes to work in my space as a CEO.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to build the team around me to deliver on it.
Right.
So do you see how the shift is? So that's what it is. I meet amazing women all over the country. And they're apologizing for the one thing they don't have versus the 99 things that they do.
Wow.
So I think it's a part of my theory on why. So they just have to be bold enough to say, the one I don't have, I'll learn it while we go.
Right. I like that.
We go.
Of course. Do you have anything to add to that?
I would add, because I 100%, but I think there is still a mentality of scarcity.
Yeah.
This understanding that for me to win, you have to lose. The understanding that, or the thought, the bad, awful,
There can only be
negative, there can only be one, there cannot be, there can only be one. And me not being able to make space for others is a lot of, and I will give examples, but not on air, a lot of that going on. And I've seen it, you spoke about men, there's gender, even within different groups. That's one, all of a sudden it was, we needed to do that for one group, but now when it's me, oh, well, that's not quite okay. Now a real talk. I tell you, I'll take you there. I think that contributes greatly to it, but there are people that have that understanding that it's one of the biggest secrets. Once you learn that when others shine, the light shines larger on you.
Absolutely.
Big secret. People still haven't gotten onto that, but the more they really have it. They say it, but they don't really execute it. But once you really lean into that, I think that's when we'll really start to say it and see the changes of that representation on top of just owning yourself, like just owning who you are. There's only one of you, so like play it up to the max. Like don't dial it down. There's no reason to do that. And my mother still reminds me of this, and it's true. Sometimes we fight for something or against something. And there are places to fight, but you have to understand too, what's for you, no one can take away.
Absolutely.
And I was like, oh, that's true. And it's true when you really lean into that. What's for you, I can't have because it's yours.
Right. I agree. You guys agree? I agree with that. That's amazing. Last question. Community plays a powerful role in growth. What advice would you give to someone looking to give back in meaningful ways?
I think that sometimes we believe that giving has to be grandiose. And it isn't that. It doesn't need to be that.
Yeah.
And giving what comes naturally to you to others that maybe that's a gap for them is it. So I'll give you a simple example. My son, my little one, he's loving sweet. He was raking my grass, right? Okay. So he's doing this and it's a chore. whatever. So I'm peeking out the window, I'm going back and peeking out the window. I don't see him. I'm like,
Where did he go?
okay. Then I can hear the raking, but it's not. So I look over and he's at the neighbor's house. Okay. So I said, oh, did they, did they ask you? And he said, no, but remember that time last Christmas when the man who lived here, he fell down? I don't know if he's still okay. Small thing.
Raise like you say.
So, and on his own. So, and he's saying they're raking and I'm, and it came to him and he did it. Small thing. Wow. He doesn't, and we don't know if he needed, but I let him continue. He did a little bit and that's that. So I use that example because I think sometimes we just don't think it's like the small things.
Yeah.
And in community centers, people think we need big things. Sometimes we do, but most of the time, we need people who are going to show up, we need people who are going to help, right? We need people who are going to give advice. We need people who are going to give just time. Sit with a kid who has to do their homework. Sit with a senior. Sit with an entrepreneur. Tell them, so it's these little things that I think are the ways in which we can give back. And sometimes we just think it needs to be big when if everybody does a little bit, what's the saying they say? That many hands make light work.
Yes.
That's for me, I think, because
I think that those social, I was thinking along the same lines and that, FACE didn't start like this, or whatever career it is doesn't start. Overture for the Arts didn't start
coming up on 15 years.
15 or 7 years. It is start by a genuine understanding, belief if there's something that you see and wanting to contribute to make it better. And not having all the puzzle pieces set as to how it's all going to set up and what it's going to look like. Often I could not have known I could tell you I would not have known that this was the goal. Maybe some people are like that. That was, it really starts with, well, I kind of like that M&A and I think, oh, well, I'd like to work towards that cause. Well, I'll just go volunteer for that.
Right.
And then it pepples through to all kinds of different things. But I feel like just curiosity and just thinking about care for others. That's all. And the rest will come to you and you'll just do it.
Yeah.
And make change. That's it.
You guys are both making a change, a big change. Give it up for them, ladies and gentlemen.
Magnesium.
Magnesium.
Make my children take their magnesium.
I did take my magnesium today.
By the way, I'm on a strong center of adding lying, just saying, just making sure that we're legally covered by a disclaimer.
That's funny. No, we're not. We're definitely not. I just have one more question. What is a quote or something that you guys live by daily that keeps you like, okay, I'm getting up, you get up at 4:45, you get up when you do, a quote that you live by every single day that keeps you going and that you can leave with the audience on a closing note tonight?
It's not that I don't think about it every day, but it is one that I learned really young and that I do, that comes to, and it comes back to me when I need it. It's just like, I'm the master of my fate, the captain of my soul. Ooh, like this. So it's always like, not defined by others, set the direction, give the pace, and live in that and go in. That's the one that just came to me now, but I'm believing in the worlds of affirmation. So send them to me. I'm like, I believe in that.
Yes.
That's part of self-care.
Amen.
Yeah.
Tiffany?
I think there's two. The professional one that I use all the time is make it plain.
Ooh, I like that.
That's Malcolm X. And it's been about, if we want to make change, we have to also create a baseline where everybody can understand, contribute, and get involved. Sometimes we let the jargon and the strategies and all these things get in the way of just make it plain. This plus this equals that. And how can you help?
Yes.
So make it plain is one, Malcolm X. And the other one is, I don't know who said it or who I heard it from, but it's use me. Right? And that's the prayer.
Yes.
That's the
100%.
Use me as a vessel for your good. Use me. It's like allowing for things to pass through you. There's a source we're pulling from that makes these things happen.
Yes.
And that you're being guided, whether you're conscious of it, not conscious of it, whether you name it something or not, whether you add a particular way of prayer or engagement, but there's something there. So my simple one is use me. Because if I let myself be a vessel, then I'm not in control. And I know that I don't need to be in control. I just need to show up.
That was good. Give it up for Tiffany and Yolande, everyone. Can you guys tell us about where to find you? Face Coalition, both of you, please. I don't.
You can find me on, this is the problem now. So Instagram is I am Tiffany Callender, Facebook and LinkedIn is Tiffany Callender. If you're looking for face, which I think is what people should be,
Right.
is facecoalition.com or face, I can grow one face at IG. So
Okay.
you can look for Face Coalition and we pop up on all platforms.
Sounds
and on YouTube.
Oh,
Check out our podcast that's coming out soon. TOC season 4 is coming
Ooh, nice.
in 2 weeks.
Awesome.
So I'm no longer in media, but I do one social, LinkedIn. But really, if you want to find me, you'll find me supporting any overture with the arts.
Yes, we love that. We love that.
That wasn't a joke. That's for real.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Tiffany Callender and Yolande James. You guys will have the opportunity to network with them before we leave and get their contact. Oh, ask more questions. I know, but you know what? You're in the room for a reason. So